Hello, this is Kathy from the Daily Marker. How are you today? Thank you for watching. Today I wanted to share how I created some quick watercolor tags to make my homemade treats. Originally I put them in these Ziploc baggies, very practical, and then I'm like, this does not look good enough. So I stamped these fun tags from Power Poppy, and I did some quick watercoloring, and I want to share how I did that. This is what the stamp looks like here. I have some Tim Holtz watercolor paper, and I'm using some black archival ink, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp a bunch of these tags and watercolor them all at once. I don't want to take a lot of time to do this because I think these have a trash factor, like they'll just go in the trash. So I have some of these watercolors that are brand new. I treated myself after the coloring challenge with these, and I'm trying these out for the first time. I've never used them. I noticed that you have to shake them up, and in hindsight I'm using way too much water, but it still works. So you'll see how it looks. So next time I won't use near as much water, but I did want like a washed look on these tags. So while I'm doing this, I do have a video where I did some easy plaid backgrounds, watercolored backgrounds, and they were so fun and so easy, and it just is a really super fun thing to do. I kind of wanted to make these plaid, but the tags are a little bit too small, and it just didn't happen. Now these are some new brushes from Tim Holtz. They're Ranger brushes, and what I love is there's 3 different sizes. There's a small, a medium, and a large, and it's really easy to get a nice, even, straight line. Now I'm heat setting I don't want the colors to run together because the pink and the green just might get muddy. So I'm drying the front and the back of this a little bit so it just doesn't wash out and get muddy. But these brushes, they're really great. I was really happy with the results. This is the first time I've used them. So they're nice and easy to hold, and I just love how you get an easy straight line. So I'm just putting some of the color down. You can see that it's very easy and it's quick, just like I wanted. So I'm going to super speed this up in a minute. And I was going to do a plaid, but there's not enough room on the tag, and I'm only using the small and the medium brush. The large would have covered the entire tag. And sorry, I cropped it out of the picture there, but I'm not using it. So I think they come in a set of 3, but to be honest, I don't remember. And right now, my sister and I were making some biscotti. We're making cranberry walnut, and we just made like a cocoa chocolate chip one. And then we like to put these in the bags and give them to people and stuff. So I'm up here ran up here to do my voiceover, so if I sound a little rushed, that's why. Now I'm using the second color just to get a variation on my tags here, and as you can see, it's super easy to get that line. And I want to be sure to get the tops of those tags. They're really easy, fun tags, and I decided I'm not spending a lot of time on this, so I would take the time while I'm watching TV or something to cut these out. It wasn't difficult at all, and it's that little pop on a treat bag that makes all the difference. Now, these are Spectrum Noir watercolor. They're not called hold on. Let me see. They're called Sparkle, but they're like watercolor markers to me, but they have a beautiful sparkle in them, and they're nice, rich colors. You have to be a little bit careful. So I'm just putting a little bit of color down and then washing it with either the green. I have 2 green markers, and I'm just kind of doing it different on every one. I just want to get a little color variation in that holly, and again, I have to tell myself not to spend a lot of time because of the trash factor. These will probably go straight into the trash can. So I really don't want to spend a lot of time, but I want them to look good. Now the Spectrum North Sparkle markers, they have a red, and you have to shake it and squeeze a little bit out in order for it to flow if it's not flowing. And I'm just coloring all the berries with the red marker. And in the center of the tag, there's a circle where you can punch a hole in the tag, and I decided to color it as a berry. See right where the pen is right now? Because I just love the red against the pink, so I went ahead and cut that. When I cut these out, I was too lazy to come upstairs and get my hole punch. Oh, hold on one second. I want to show you. Remember I said I wanted to do a plaid, so I thought I'd see if I use this as a ruler and drew a line, maybe did a red line for a plaid, and it didn't work out. I'm like, forget about it. So it's always good to have like one test piece. So I did not do that. And if I didn't think there was a trash factor on this, I would have taken a gel pen and did a vertical dotted faux stitched line. And if you look through my video feed, you'll see that there's a plaid background that I did. Now I have my name is the Daily Marker, my blog, so I have another marker here, and this is a Tombow, and they're great watercolor markers, but I'm just using this direct paper, and I'm just coloring the stems to the cherries and the holly in this brown. Super basic. I'm just, like I said, trash factor. Just throw some color on there. What else? I'm just going to finish this up. This should go on super speed, but who knows? We'll see. I'll put a link on my blog, thedailymarker.com, to the Chex Mix recipe. Try and say that fast. I always double the nuts, and I usually double the seasoning because I like it very flavorful. It calls for a seasoning salt. I'm mixing, I watered that down too much, so I'm adding more color. And I'm using this super fine tip paintbrush, and I just want to add some color variation on the ribbon of the tag. And I realized I watered that down, so I just put some of that on my craft mat, added a little bit of water, and then this is really quick. I'm just adding coloring some of those lines on the tags. So anyways, the Chex Mix. It's super easy. I double the batch. I put it in a big roasting pan. I double the seasoning. I double the nuts. And if we don't use the bagel chips, and sometimes there's like pretzel squares, like waffle, or pretzel sticks, and then I always break them in half. I don't like a lot of pretzel, so I've kind of modified it a little bit, but it's just a nice crunch, salty, and the kids love it. So it's kind of become a new tradition. So I'm just prepping all these. I'm going to take these downstairs and cut them out later, and before I do that, most of you know I like to warm up the white gel pen on my finger, and I added a darker color, and then I wanted to add some white to the ribbon. You know, it's hard to stop adding these little details. So whatever works, whatever makes you happy. And I'm just adding a white line to the berries. They could be cherries too. And it'd be really cool to add some glossy accents, but I stopped myself. Now in this stamp set, there's a 2 and with love, so it's perfect. There's also some sentiments you can put on the tags as well. And then I've grabbed my Sharpie fine tip marker here, and I'm just tracing over elements, parts, certain lines on the ribbon. And that's it. Normally I would go over the whole thing, but I'm stopping myself from doing too much. And then I'm just did it on that one side that touches the tag, not on the other, because that's going to be cut out. So just taking a little time to do this. I mean, my sister kept saying, oh, this looks so good, you know, against the Chex Mix and everything. So I'm really glad I stopped everything and took the time to do this. And it really was quick. So I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season and have a little time to do some fun things like this. Now I take a Memento marker and I run it around. I like to cover up that white edge. It always gives you a professional look if you cover up those white edges. And I always like a Memento marker because it never bleeds into whatever I've done. And here's my bag's Chex Mix. I took some Jingle Bells and ribbon and threaded it through the tag. Oh, I was saying I poked a hole with my scissor where the ribbon goes and just tied it. That's it. I have some more photos on my blog, and have a great day. I appreciate y'all watching so much. All right, bye.